So, good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here today. My name is Jaden Tran. I'm an independent researcher on child development, and today I'll be presenting my fieldwork findings in child development in physical, cognitive, and social domains. So, my goal today is to inform parents and teachers regarding three domains of child development, which are physical, cognitive, and social development, as well as to compare and contrast my fieldwork findings to existing theories that are already out there. And in addition, I am also here to provide parents and teachers practical guidance or things that they can do in order to promote children's development in these areas. So I conducted my fieldwork at Westmount Park Elementary School, and my research was conducted in a natural setting. So classrooms and playgrounds during recess, naturalistic observation was utilized as the research method in order to minimize students' behavioral change. I was assigned to a class of 17 students. They were in second grade and they were about 7 to 8. So, to begin with, I would like to discuss children's motor development. So, motor development simply refers to the changes in children's ability to control and coordinate body movements over time. And one important theory in motor development is dynamic system theory. And according to this theory, motor development is not simply biologically predetermined, so not just through maturation, but instead, development occurs through continuous adaptation and experimentation and the interaction with the environment. So in this theory, children organize and reorganize their movements through experience and practices in order to kind of create and adapt, create new skills and adapt to the new skills. It is really related to the Jean Piaget's theory of organization. So, to investigate children's motor development, I focus on fine motor development. So, fine motor development refers to the coordination of small muscles, and I looked for different pencil grips in order to investigate fine motor development. So, I mainly focus on the dynamic tripod grip and the static tripod grip. So the dynamic tripod grip usually develops around ages 6 to 7. In this grip, children hold their pencil using 3 fingers while allowing flexible fingers movement during writing. So they use 3 fingers, thumb, index, and middle finger, and the middle finger is supporting the pencil as they're writing. And they also use more of their pencil than their wrist in order to write. And in static tripod grip, which generally appears earlier around ages of 4 to 5, this grip involves less finger mobility using the wrist to write more. So they also use 3 fingers, but the middle finger is not supporting the pencil. So in order to investigate students' motor skills, especially fine motor skills, I engage children with different types of grip, and I observed different types of grip in students. I engaged 3 children in to a drawing activity. I instructed them to draw the teacher, and I had 3 children. However, I only focused on 2 for this observation. So this is one of my students' drawing. This student displayed a very unexpected grip. So he was 5, however, he had some type of grip that, he was 8, but he had some type of grip that was something between static tripod grip and dynamic tripod grip. And it seemed more like a static tripod grip, but also kind of in process to a dynamic tripod grip. So theoretically, he is mature enough to demonstrate the dynamic tripod grip, but he didn't. And we can infer this as the result due to individual differences, and also we could explain this to the dynamic system theory. We could interpret this as the student is in process moving from static tripod grip to dynamic tripod grip, which supports the theory that motor development is adaptive and continuous rather than perfectly uniform across children. So overall, the fieldwork findings generally align pretty well with existing theories. For example, my 2 other students display dynamic tripod grip, which is an appropriate grip for their age. However, there were also individual differences among students, especially regarding fine motor development. And one limitation I could discuss about is the sample size. So the sample size was relatively small, and observations occurred within one school setting. So therefore, the findings cannot necessarily be generalizable it cannot be generalized to all students. I observed three. I cannot say that this applies to like thousands of students and millions of students. So here are some activities that promote children's motor development. So for fine motor skills, we could let children play Legos, playing dice. For example, at school during playtime, we can have like Lego blocks and kind of build them together, and Lego blocks, like small Lego blocks, and kind of play dice also. They really have to use their pincer grips, grasp, and so on, kind of developed more of that. Just be careful for them not to kind of put it in their mouth and their nose and so on. For gross motor skills, we could let them play at playground, let them play with peers, etc. Let them run and hop, and so on. These activities really improve their balance, coordination, and muscle strength. So secondly, I would like to discuss cognitive developments, and especially in areas such as the Pyramid model, different memory strategies, and metacognition. So this is a very well-known memory model done by Atkinson and Shiffrin. So sensory memory, so I don't have time to cover all this, but basically sensory memory is really the short image, for example, not necessarily image, just sensory information. For example, visual information, the image that really stays within, stays there for about 2 to 5 seconds. And short-term memory is a storage unit that holds information for about 5 to 30 seconds. And long-term memory is a storage unit that has unlimited capacity, and information is encoded in long-term memory are usually permanent. And working memory is not a storage unit. It is a process more. It is more like a process. It is what we are doing right now at the moment. So, for example, for me to look at the slides and present the information for you guys, I'm using working memory. And working memory, as children get older, their working memory capacity also increases. Yeah. So I would like to discuss memory strategies. So previous research have suggested that children progressively develop more sophisticated memory strategies with age. And one early memory strategy is maintained rehearsal, where children just repeatedly repeat information to themselves in order to remember the information. And as children get older, they may begin using more sophisticated memory strategies as cumulative rehearsal, organization, elaboration, and so on. And another important strategy is mental representation, also known as scene representation, where children imagine scenes or visual image in order to support their memory recall. And So, in order to investigate working memory and how children use memory strategies, I engaged them with a memory game. So I presented them 2 word lists. Each had 9 words in them, and I instructed them, you have to remember as much words as possible within given 60 seconds. So this is the first word list of one of my students, and so he used the strategy called the cumulative rehearsal. So basically, he rehearsed 3 first information, 3 first units, and then 3 units. He added extra 3, so 6, and on the 6 units, he added 3, so 9 units. So, for example, lion, truck, grapes, bow, orange, giraffe, and so on. So this is his result, lion, truck, grapes. Really, not only did he manage to recall all 9 words, but he also recalled it in order, which is very impressive. I did not expect to see cumulative rehearsal as a memory strategy because he was only 8. And cumulative rehearsal are usually observed in children of 9 or older. But there were some cases that, it was possible to observe cumulative rehearsal earlier in life. So for the second word list, they changed their strategy from cumulative rehearsal to rehearsal, maintenance rehearsal, and mental representation, which I'll explain it right now. So they couldn't recall all of the words. In fact, they made mistakes repeating some words and also repeating some words that were not even on the list. And, this is the result. So, for example, bike, bicycle, boat is not on the list. It was on the previous list, and so on. And he also couldn't remember all the words. And, in front of us, we had a wall, and he was kind of try to recall it, try to imagine it like he was like cherry, bicycle, and so on. So yeah, so and the children of this age very often make mistakes because previous strategy was too cognitive demanding for him. It was too advanced for him in order to, demonstrate strategy. Therefore, he had to change it because it was too cognitive demanding for him. So overall, the findings supported existing theories regarding memory development, especially in areas such as memory strategies. My other student did use rehearsal and categorization, which are appropriate for their age. But there were variations. So cognitive development is not identical in every student, and factors such as educational experiences, family interaction, and depending on their knowledge, they also use different strategies. The more they know, the more knowledge they have, the more sophisticated memory they can use. And one limitation that I could bring up about this activity is that the activities were relatively short and conducted only twice, and with two word lists. So repeated observations may have produced more reliable findings, and also sample size. I only have 2 children, therefore it is really hard for me to say based on this information that it is generalizable for all students. But I'm pretty sure there are other research that could prove the point that is generalizable. So here are some activities that promote cognitive development. So independence training. So independence training is basically know where your children are situated at. So kind of like set a goal where it is reachable when they reach the goal, and you set it a little higher. Make sure not to set it too high because otherwise it's not motivating. It must be a reachable goal in order for him to be motivated. And social dramatic play, I will get into this right now. So social development. So I will now discuss social development. So social development refers to how children learn and interact with others, develop relationship, understand social norms, and to be a social being. So there are a lot of agents of socialization, such as parents and peers. And peers are especially important agents of socialization during middle childhood, because children increasingly spend more time with peers, with individuals of similar age and social status who are not related to them. And play is also highly significant because it promotes learning, cooperation, communication, problem solving, emotional regulation, and so on. So play is rewarding and enjoyable on its own. We should not reward children to play, because if we reward them to play, then they play to be rewarded, not because it is enjoyable anymore. So basically we are taking away their enjoyment. So there are many types of play identified by Parton: non-social types of play and social types of play. Today I would like to focus on one type of social play, which is cooperative play. In cooperative play, children have common goal and rules are communicated. So cooperative play is particularly important because children work together towards shared goal while communicating roles and negotiating behaviors, and kind of solve the problems when there are disagreements and conflicts and so on. And make-believe play, I do not have make-believe play in my fieldwork, but I would still like to briefly cover it. So social dramatic play is a specific type of play that involves real life situations, such as pretending to be a vet, doctor, parents, teachers, and so on. And this type of play promotes creativity, communication, perspective taking, and social understanding. And this promotes cognitive development, as children have to be able to have language skills, and this also requires a lot of communication because they need to make themselves clear, also ask for clarification when someone is not clear and they don't understand them. And usually children who are involved in this type of play are judged more socially competent by their teachers. So my fieldwork activity, it was a natural setting. This activity demonstrated cooperative play. I let them play normally. They recruited and they decided to play tag. 2 children explained the rules and then there were some conflicts, but they had to kind of negotiate it. And children also communicated rules, collaborated socially, and resolved minor conflicts. These observations really support developmental theories suggesting that peer interaction contributes significantly to social skills, to social competence as children you know um, try to solve conflicts. So overall, the social behavior observed aligns strongly with existing theory of peer interaction and cooperative play. However, social behavior varied depending on personality differences and friendship dynamics as well. And one important limitation that I could discuss is that children may have behaved differently in other environments. So, for example, as with my research colleagues, as a moderator, the teacher may have behave differently. Nonetheless, the observations suggest that peer interaction and social play are essential and beneficial for healthy social development. Here are some activities that promote social development. So it could be social dramatic play. For example, at home, mom can play. They can play like how it is like to be to go to school. Mom can play the teacher, and the daughter or like the kid can play the student, and they kind of expect how it is like to be at school. It can reduce their anxiety going to school as well, and exposure to peers as well. So in conclusion, my fieldwork experience demonstrated how physical, cognitive, and social development interact closely during childhood. And before I finish off my presentation, I would like to send special thank to Dr. Joelle Diane for her guidance throughout this research. I would also like to thank the staff and students at Westmount Park Elementary School for allowing these observations to take place. I would like to also thank my research colleague who were there with me, and how we helped each other out for a common goal.